In any event, I wanted to take this moment to, I guess, talk about a little bit about myself. I was born in Spanish Harlem. Grew up in Puerto Rico. Yeah, but yeah, Spanish Harlem. Washington Harbor Housing, yeah? That's right. Grew up in a small town in Puerto Rico, San Sebastián. That's actually where I started school, and I ended up, obviously, that's where I started my academic career, and I came back when I was 10 years old, and I was one of those weird people that had to, I was an American, a born American, that had to learn English as a second language. Because así pasó la cosa. Went to live in the Bronx and did the bilingual program in the 5th grade over in PS 86 in the Bronx. And at the age of 13, I had the misfortune, I was diagnosed with a very rare form of cancer. And for the better part of the next 2 years, I was hospitalized fighting cancer. I successfully beat cancer twice in that time. Thank you. So by the time it was time for me to leave the hospital, I found myself homeless. I had a mother who was sick, and she was living in a homeless shelter. My father was in a welfare hotel, and this was what my teenage years were like, bouncing from one shelter to a welfare hotel, and ended up living in a group home in the Bronx, in the slightly nicer part of the Bronx, over by Co-op City in the Valley, if anybody knows the Bronx. And I went to Truman High School, and I just had a fantastic time. I was permanently disabled, and somehow I still managed to go to school full time and do well in school, and I actually had 2 part-time jobs right after school. So estaba trabajando como un loco. I finally came up here in 1989 to do something really crazy that people in the Hispanic community are not supposed to do. First of all, they're not supposed to graduate high school. I did. We're not supposed to go to college, and I did. And that's how I ended up in Albany. Went to the University at Albany, and I majored in something that Hispanics are not supposed to major in, computer science. ¿Por qué? Porque soy un loco. It's a very difficult concentration, but that's my background, that's my field. Eventually, I embarked on a great career in the private sector, and locally, GE, Farm Family Insurance, MVP, healthcare, so on and so forth. And I did something even crazier. I decided to go for my master's degree in information technology, and ended up going to Harvard. And in 2006, was a very something interesting happened in 2006. In 2006 was a very bittersweet year for me. I graduated from Harvard University, chévere. And a few months later, I ended up burying my brother, who had died in one of our incarceration facilities, because he was always on the other side of the law. He was 30 years old. He was actually smarter than I was, and I think he could have accomplished everything that I could have accomplished a lot quicker and a lot faster. Y esa es la historia mía. And in 2009, I did something crazy. I decided to run for mayor of the city of Albany. And don't applaud yet, because you're not going to applaud after I say this. I ran as a Republican. Which brings me to what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about, and you're going to like this, a Republican is going to talk about diversity. Okay? That's right. I'm looking at Congressman Tonko, because somebody actually asked me to run against Congressman Tonko, and it's so funny somebody mentioned about his youth, because I told him, to loco, he found the fountain of youth. I'm not going to beat the guy. I met him. He actually speaks Spanish, by the way. If you get a chance, please make a point of meeting him. I'm going to talk about diversity. So something interesting happened, something that I got to think about when I reflected in my life is the diversity of people that were behind me through my most difficult times. And they'll come from all walks of life, all religious groups. You could just imagine it. And this room is quite not big enough to hold all those people that were behind me. And they didn't care that I was Hispanic, or maybe some of them did, quién sabe. And something occurred to me that Hispanics in this country we are perhaps the most diverse group of people in the most diverse and freest nation in the world. We come from, we are made up of about 3 races, 4 continents, and about 20 or so nations. And as diverse as we are still not true practitioners and embracers of diversity. And we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We know that from Boricua, if you have organizations that are Hispanic groups from other nationalities and are welcome to them, and I found that to be outrageous. It's getting better. It's getting better. I don't want to say that it's all bad, but it's getting better. The political diversity is still quite not there. While we are Democrats, we are also Republicans, Dios libre. While we are very left-wing or liberal, we are also very conservative. If you don't believe me, ask your abuelita y abuelito how conservative they are. We are from many different religious groups. We are Christians, we are, believe it or not, we are Jewish, we are Muslim, and thanks to Ricky Martin, we are even Buddhist. And so it occurs to me that if we are going to take advantage of these census numbers, we are going to have to become better practitioners of diversity, once again amongst ourselves, in the freest country in the world. You know, historically, the United States, when it began to embrace its own diversity, it skyrocketed into prosperity. And so we're going to have to embrace it ourselves so that we can write the next chapter of prosperity in this great country. Thank you.